Good morning, welcome to a morning review. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 14th of August. So looking at euro dollar first, and well, Friday saw a reasonable up kicker there on the euro, pushing back up towards the previous highs. We're sitting at the moment, got the weekly pivot still below us. There's a potential retracement on the cards here. Side of that, the movement looks pretty smallish there. Just coming down the time frames here, quite choppy. Looks like didn't miss too much on the holidays in terms of choppiness. It certainly seemed in the markets for many hours at different periods. So we'll see how we run out this morning. Just currently sitting and bouncing off the 21 moving averages at the moment, the 60-minute 21s. There's both the daily pivots and weekly pivots below. I'd potentially look for a move for those, but the actual size of the move looks pretty small, even from where we are now. Well, it's not too bad actually, 25, 40 pips maybe. So there is the potential of a rollover. I'd wait post 8 o'clock and see how we get on there. But the trend though, higher lows, higher highs there. Looking like it's, as I said, from the daily point of view, looking like it's trying to push up towards those previous highs now. If it does start pushing up this morning, maybe Friday's high would be a fair target, but we could also look for that R1 above. The pound, so come back out here. Pound's still sitting there pretty choppy. Last 4 days, barely seen any significant direction from it. Very choppy sidewards. It's already hit the weekly pivot here, and well, difficult picture to see what's happening here. Maybe erring towards the upside to a degree, although certainly not clear from the mess on Friday. And well, looks like there is the potential for a move back down towards that daily pivot untouched below. If we start seeing them roll this morning, perhaps that's what we'd be looking at. Otherwise, Friday's highs seem a reasonable option as well with this sort of movement, pretty similar to the euro in that sort of sense. Maybe even the R1. Again, I think patience would be needed this morning. I've noticed it's sort of several hours of just sort of sitting there for sudden movements and then relatively little over the last week. Very holiday based trading this. Dollar yen has bounced off the monthly S1 there, back to weekly pivot, already ticked off for the box there. Maybe reacting on this weekly pivot. It'd be interesting to see how we roll from here, but certainly a potential that it's run its course there and could continue to the downside. Have got daily pivot below, but that has been touched already, just by the looks of things. But that could roll over from here. Any sort of break of maybe the 60-minute 8 may give the green light. However, it is quite extreme, quite sort of say extreme. It's not quite moved to the extreme sort of zone on the RSI there, but it is pushing up there. But it's in the strong zone at the moment between 80 and 90 sort of area on my chart there, which could see it just holding up here. So not in a rush to start selling it, but the bigger trend is certainly to the downside. But maybe Friday's price action, possible reversal with that doji sitting there. The Aussie dollar been selling off until Friday. Bit of another sort of reversal candle here. But looking from the 4-hourly perspective, it looks a bit more bearish. Could end up with a bearish pivot swing in here on the 4-hourlies, which again could suggest downside. So there's a few of these pairs that look like they could have some downside. This daily pivot still untouched on the Aussie at the moment, but very little in the way of distance for it. Maybe if we see it start breaking that sort of zone in the 50-34 there, it could be on for further downside. We haven't seen the R1 hit. There's still a possibility of the R1 or S1 being hit. S1 could be a target on the break of these lows here. maybe a big ask in terms of range, bearing in mind what it was doing last week for the majority of the time, but could at least get to halfway there. Okay, Aussie dollar, and finally let's get the Canadian dollar up there. In fact, I just need a quick look at the oil price first. Set around at 49 after hitting 50 earlier in the week. Okay, so Canadian dollar edging up from a daily perspective. It's been pushing out of this consolidation we saw at the bottom there, pushing up at the moment. Maybe it's running to 34. Had a bit of sort of late reaction to that. Maybe pushing towards that daily 50 at some point here. We lacked a decent correction at any time there. It's just kicking below the weekly pivot as we're sitting here. And from a short-term movement here, there's a sort of a bearish, sort of flaggish sort of pattern sort of sitting there, which we could see that taken out and maybe to the downside. It's still got the daily pivot untouched above, which could be caught if it continues in that sort of mode. It may run up towards the 50, and as I said, from a daily perspective, it has got sort of the daily 50 above us, which may be a longer term target there. But at the moment, it's broken the trend that it was in. Certainly broken that trend, and almost looking like it may get correction back to the downside here from this short-term time frame. Okay, that's pretty much it for me from that point of view. Looking at the data, there's not a great deal out today. I've got I've already had the Aussie Assistant Governor speaking at 12:35. That's happened. Oh, and the Japanese. In fact, it means there's best part of nothing out today now. Then I just noticed that all the data's come out for today. So we're left with nothing in the way of news. So just the technicals. There we go. Have a great day. Bye for now.